Welcome to the Mycitizenagency channel. Imagine a common scenario. You want to travel to Europe for a couple of days, to visit relatives, attend a business meeting, or simply get away from it all. But instead of planning with ease, questions start popping up. Do I need a visa? How long will I have to wait for an appointment? What documents do I need to gather? Will I be allowed across the border? Have the rules changed? Now imagine another scenario. You buy a ticket, grab your passport, and head off without a care. This is exactly how life changes for many people in practice after obtaining European Union citizenship. It's not just a new document, it's a whole new level of freedom, opportunities, and confidence in the future. In this video, we'll break down what actually changes after obtaining EU citizenship in travel, work, education, business, family, healthcare, and everyday life. The first thing that changes after obtaining EU citizenship is freedom of movement. You are no longer at the mercy of visa queues, seasonal consulate backlogs, and long waits for a decision. In practice, this means that traveling becomes much easier. You can plan a vacation, a business meeting, or a trip to visit your children or relatives without the constant stress of paperwork. You no longer have to worry every time about visa deadlines, proof of income, hotel reservations, or explaining the purpose of your trip. For entrepreneurs, parents, students, and frequent travelers, this is especially noticeable. A European passport doesn't just make traveling easier, it changes your whole approach to planning your life. You become more mobile and freer in your decisions. The second important change is the ability to live in European Union countries. Once you obtain citizenship in one EU country, you can consider living in other European countries as well, provided you comply with their local registration and residency rules. This gives you more choices. You can choose a country not just based on where I managed to get the paperwork done, but on where I actually feel comfortable. For some, the climate matters. For others, the quality of healthcare. For others, their children's education. For others, the business environment, taxes, or career opportunities. Everyone has their own path, but EU citizenship allows you to make decisions more freely and strategically. The third section is work. EU citizenship grants the right to work in European Union countries without needing to obtain a separate work permit as a foreign national. In practice, this significantly expands career opportunities. It's easier for an employer to consider your candidacy because they don't have to go through additional procedures to hire a foreigner. And it's easier for you to relocate for an interesting job opening, switch companies, try a new field, or develop your career in an international environment. This is especially important for professionals in IT, medicine, engineering, finance, logistics, education, the service sector, and entrepreneurship. It's important to understand, EU citizenship does not automatically guarantee a job, but it removes one of the main barriers between you and legal employment in Europe. The next section is education. If you have children or plan to study yourself, EU citizenship can be a major advantage. In many European countries, EU citizens benefit from more favorable conditions for admission, tuition, and living expenses than non-EU citizens. This may apply to tuition costs, scholarships, the right to work while studying, internships, and exchange programs. For families, this means more options. A child can study in one country, do an internship in another, and then build a career in a third. Conditions vary by country and university, but EU citizenship itself makes the educational path more flexible. Another important area is business and finance. EU citizenship can simplify starting a company, working with European partners, accessing banking products, renting an office, signing contracts, and participating in the business environment. For entrepreneurs, this is not just a matter of convenience, but also of trust. When you have a European passport, many processes become clearer to banks, partners, and government agencies. Of course, EU citizenship does not eliminate taxes, reporting requirements, source of funds verification, or the specific rules of a particular country. But it can provide more freedom of choice: where to live, where to start a company, where to hire employees, and how to build a long-term strategy. It is particularly important to discuss family. EU citizenship can affect not only you, but also your loved ones. Depending on the situation and the laws of a specific country, family members may gain additional opportunities for residency, education, employment, or further legal status. For parents, this is a chance to give their children more freedom of choice. For spouses, it's an opportunity to build a life together in Europe with clearer rules. For the whole family, less uncertainty and more stability. In practice, this might look like this. A child enrolls in a European university, the family chooses a country to live in, one of the spouses receives a job offer, and moving becomes not a huge problem but a manageable process. The next section covers healthcare and social security. EU citizens gain access to healthcare and social support systems in accordance with the rules of their country of residence. It's important to understand that healthcare systems in Europe vary. The terms depend on which country you live in, work in, or pay taxes or insurance premiums in. But overall, EU citizenship provides more rights and security. You can legally reside, obtain insurance, seek medical care, and use public and private services. This is especially important for families, as it allows for more peace of mind when planning long-term treatment, preventive care, and medical services. After obtaining EU citizenship, many everyday matters also become easier. Renting a home, setting up utilities, opening a bank account, registering a car, signing contracts, and obtaining local documents, all of this can be handled more smoothly. Of course, every country has its own rules, deadlines, and bureaucracy, but the difference in status is noticeable. You spend less time explaining why you're in the country. You spend less time justifying your right to make long-term plans. You act more like a full-fledged participant in the system. This is especially noticeable when you're planning not just a short trip, but a real life in Europe. One of the most important aspects is the inner sense of freedom. Before citizenship, many decisions hinge on paperwork. Can I travel? Can I stay? Can I work? Can I bring my family over? Can I open a bank account? Can I plan my life several years in advance? After obtaining EU citizenship, these questions become less restrictive. You start thinking not just about permits, but about your goals. Where do I feel comfortable living? In which country is it best for my child to study? Where should I grow my business? Where should I build my career? What kind of lifestyle do I want for myself and my family? EU citizenship changes more than just a set of rights. It changes the very logic of decision-making. You shift from asking, what will I be allowed to do, to asking, which path do I choose? But it's important to be honest here. EU citizenship doesn't solve absolutely everything. A European passport doesn't guarantee automatic income, a perfect job, a free life, or the absence of bureaucracy. In Europe, too, there are taxes, competition lines, language barriers, registration rules, bank requirements, and the need to adapt. EU citizenship is a powerful tool, but you need to use it wisely. If you're planning to move, it's important to understand in advance which country you want to live in and how taxes, healthcare, schools, housing, the banking system, and the job market work there. If you're an entrepreneur, it's important to think through your business structure. If you have a family, you need to understand what documents and steps your loved ones will need to take. EU citizenship opens doors, but it's crucial to chart your path correctly from there. Let's summarize. After obtaining EU citizenship, many things change in practice. You travel more freely, plan a move more easily, gain more career and educational opportunities, can develop a business in a European environment, provide your family with greater stability, and feel more confident in the long term. But the main point of EU citizenship isn't just about the passport. The main point is that you gain more choices. Choice of country, choice of job, choice of education for your children, choice of lifestyle, choice of future. If you want to understand whether you have a realistic basis for applying for citizenship, submit a request for a free consultation via the link in the description. We will review your situation, create a personalized immigration plan for you, and prepare a complete set of documents to successfully obtain citizenship in one of the EU countries. We work on a one-on-one basis, taking into account your goals, your lifestyle, and your specific circumstances. Thank you for watching this video. If you're interested in this topic, subscribe to our channel and feel free to ask questions in the comments. We'll regularly publish program reviews, answer frequently asked questions, and share important news about immigration law and life in the EU. Your journey to Europe begins with the first step. Mycitizenagency is here for you, every step of the way.